Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall-Greider. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall-Greider.
Welcome, everybody. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm excited and honored to be connecting in with you. Can you believe January is almost complete? Oh my goodness, January 2020 is almost complete. We are just hours away from the end of the month. And something my husband keeps reminding me is in the year 2020, we all get to have perfect vision. And I want to embrace that for us. I want us to really embrace that we are purposely, with clarity, moving forward in those areas that matter most to us, that we are doing that in January and beyond. And part of that clarity, part of that vision, part of being able to move forward powerfully and purposely is remembering we're an important part of that equation. Sometimes we get so busy with the to-do list and the goals and the vision and the planning, we forget to include ourselves on that list. So how are we supporting ourselves? How are we positioning ourselves? How are we planning to take care of and support ourselves to just go to amazing places in 2020 and beyond? Today, we have amazing experts that are going to come together to support us on our journey so that we are remembering to care for ourselves. We are remembering that we are enough and that we're using all of that around us to support us on our journey so that we can move forward those things that matter most. We're an important part of that equation. And if we forget to include ourselves, that can lead to burnout. That can lead to becoming something we're not wanting to become in the process. So let's focus in on what is supportive to us, what is going to fill us up to overflowing in a beautiful way, that we will be encouraged and empowered and uplifted in 2020 and beyond. Let's take a moment and stop and breathe and bring in that beautiful oxygen into our bodies. Beautiful. We get so busy with the to-do list and doing, we forget to stop and even breathe fully. So I'm going to encourage you throughout the show, we're going to take moments to stop, pause, and breathe. And part of that is so you can take the opportunity to process things real time on a cellular level. Instead of adding them to the to-do maybe someday list, we're actually going to incorporate them, start bringing it into your life real time right now using breath and throughout the show. Those of you who are driving, please stay safe. Keep both hands on the wheel. No texting and driving. You're inwardly tuning in. Those of you who are able to, I invite you to put both feet on the floor. Feel it supporting you. Sit back in your chair. Wonderful. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Fill your lungs. Feel that air go all the way to your belly. And then out through the mouth like through a straw. Keep breathing this beautiful breath. Breathing in this way helps lower your cortisol levels, your stress levels. It brings oxygen to every cell in your body, which helps us be prepared to move forward. It helps us have clarity in thinking. It helps us be able to be fully present, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And in fact, as you're breathing, I'm going to encourage you to put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, bringing you all in, mind, body, soul, and spirit. Eyes closed, you're absolutely safe. And as you're breathing, feeling the air supporting you, let's take a moment and check in. What is it that you need today? What is it that will encourage you, empower you, uplift you? What is it that you need today, real time, to support you on your journey? Just take a moment and receive that information. Beautiful. Let's take a breath together and we'll come back into the room. Wonderful. Eyes open, fully present. Take another great big breath. And as you're breathing, take a moment to write down what was laid on your heart. What is it that you need and are willing to receive? Because you have choice. Unattached to how. In fact, we're looking at that how wonderfully unfolding in ways you never would have seen or expected. Like you're looking forward to being surprised at how that need is met with excitement, anticipation, and wonder. So take a moment to co-create this, bring this forward. What is it that you need and are willing to receive? We want to keep it top of mind. Great. We're going to go around our virtual room here to connect with each of our guests that are joining us today. And as we do that, I want to invite you to listen in and see if this adds another piece to what is being laid on your heart. And our amazing guests, I would love for you to share just 10 to 15 seconds when we took a moment to stop, pause, and listen, what was laid on your heart. And with that, Bill, I would love to start with you. What was laid on your heart when we took a moment to listen?
Hey, Rebecca, it just feels like getting ready to walk on stage. You have all the butterflies kind of in formation, and you know you're going to go out there and make some sounds happen. And in that moment, I can hear my mom saying in the background, have fun, Bill. Just have fun when you're out there.
I love that. So important to remember to enjoy and have fun. I love it. Great advice. Thank you for sharing. We are getting ready to go to our first commercial break. And as we do that, I want to encourage you to take these 2 minutes as those beautiful commercials played in the background to stay present. Choose to really listen to what is being laid onto your heart and spirit. When we come back, we'll ask Megan what was laid on her heart, and we'll continue the conversation. We'll look forward to talking to you in just 2 minutes.
Be sure to friend us on Facebook. You can do it right now. Visit facebook.com/Voice America or search for us at keyword Voice America.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Get Unchained. Tune in every Monday for Jane Unchained on the Voice America Influencers channel, featuring nationally recognized best-selling author, TV journalist, and social media influencer Jane Velez Mitchell. This program takes you inside a trending lifestyle that's the next wave of human evolution. It all starts on your plate. If you want to revolutionize your life, get happier, more energized, then discover the secret. Tune in to Jane Unchained Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Influencers channel.
Rebecca Hall-Griter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective, plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at blog.voiceamerica.com. That's blog.voiceamerica.com. The Voice America Press Blog. All access, all the time. We don't follow, we lead. Join us, the Voice America Influencers Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and it really gave you an opportunity to stop, pause, breathe, and listen to what's being laid on your heart and spirit about what it is that you need and are willing to receive. And as we go forward with our time together today, I'm excited to have amazing experts that are going to support us in this conversation and add tips and insights to help us move forward purposely and powerfully while remembering to support ourselves so that we can bring forward everything that matters to us. So I'm excited to introduce our first amazing guest expert. You heard from him on a heart level in our opening segment when he was sharing those butterflies that you can have when you're getting ready to get on stage, and then that reminder from his mom to have fun. And I think that's so important. We forget sometimes to have fun on the journey. So let me share a little bit about Bill's background. So Bill Protzman is the world's leading expert in the power of music for physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. He holds the magna cum laude for degree in piano performance and creative writing. He has led a successful IT consulting practice for over 30 years. In 2011, he launched the Music Care Incorporated, and in 2014, he was recognized by the National Council for Behavioral Health with an Award of Excellence, which in that industry is the equivalent of an Oscar, winning an Oscar. Huge accomplishment. He is passionate about raising awareness of the power of music as self-care. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful, heart-centered Bill Protzman to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. I hope you could see the standing audience, arms raised, and the applause. Beautiful, beautiful. Welcome. Well, I'm thrilled and honored to have you joining us today, and I'd love to start our conversation with why. Why is this work around helping people use and understand how music can be used as self-care? Why is that work personally so important to you?
It's been such a big part of my life to be a musician, Rebecca. And if you're curious about why music is having the effects on the people that you listen to it or on you as you play it, that's a great rabbit hole. And there's so many ways to go down that rabbit hole now, and so much more research in the last 10 years. But it's really been life-saving for me to be able to connect my emotions deeply with something that's more objective.
Mm-hmm.
By that, I mean, if my job is to make big emotions happen on stage, and I do that with music, I can also use that process of investigating big emotions that are in music to give myself a sense of purpose and belonging, and more importantly, practice with dealing with those big emotions so that when they come up when I'm not on stage, I've got tools to be able to meet them as friends rather than to be all concerned or worried about them. And in my case, go through the process of trying to intervene with depression medically, and then with all kinds of treatment, when actually it was there all along. The music was there reminding me the whole time, whatever the emotion might have been. Isn't that fantastic? I mean, it's just such a great relief to know that it's there.
Well, I love, and it's been with you all along, and then it can help you in processing emotions. And I like how you said that, greet them as friends and familiar versus sometimes we can see emotions as something to hide or shrink away from versus something that can be supportive when we're able to bring music in as an ally like that. I think that's just beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, you bet. And these can be debilitating things. I mean,
Absolutely.
I get as depressed as the next person too, but it is nice to know that there's another option available to be able to deal with that in a safe way.
Exactly. I think that's so powerful. So, and I like how you're bringing up that these can be very severe, debilitating types of things that might be um, attached to the emotions and the things that we're dealing. So, how can we use music to really be that ally and come alongside us? And can it work for all of us to help us move forward? Where do we start with all of that?
Well, the second part of your question is, I wish that there was more evidence about can it work for all of us. I don't think we have enough real scientific evidence on that, but we certainly have science that says it's having an effect. And as we go down that road, and they play with functional MRIs and improvisers in the machine and try to understand how the brain is performing in the presence of music, I think we'll get closer to something where we can say at some point, yes, this music will work for you. But what we've got right now is that the music you love is the most powerful music for you, which is clearly going to be different for all of us.
Sure.
So, for example, let's say I just asked right now, if you're listening and you've made a heart connection to something that's important or significant to you this morning, what music would you put behind that? What's on your heart and what music enlivens that? We'd all probably choose some different songs. But the idea of just engaging fully with whatever it is, whether that's something on your heart or a simple emotion or preparing to go on stage, music can give you a more easy way of engaging physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually with that thing than almost any other kind of substance or modality that we know. And that's fascinating to me.
No, I love that because I know there are certain songs, and sometimes it depends very much on my mood or what's going on, that I can't help but move to. Like they engage me, my body, and movement. And I have others that just make me smile and uplift and shift how I'm feeling about things. And I'm sure that we all have emotional responses and connections to music, but I like how you shared that it's very personalized. It kind of depends on what we love and how it connects with us. Is there any other direction or tips that you would like to give our listeners today about connecting with music more deeply?
A lot of encouragement, I think, first of all, because even though music is making you move, it's still having a emotional, a mental, and a spiritual effect on you. It's not one thing for one purpose. All that other stuff comes into it too.
Beautiful,
which is wonderful because it's holistic in that sense. And learning about that is so beautiful. One of the things I love to do is to help people listen deeper to music. And you can do that by imagining a song, for example, just bring it to your head, and then engage your five senses in that song. So what does it taste like to listen to that music? And maybe there are memories that come up. What is the touch that goes along with that music? And as you do this and you engage your five senses, you become aware of how that music is working on you in ways that you wouldn't have been aware of before. And that's so marvelous. And watching the lights come on when people start to do that is just one of the beautiful parts of what I get to do every day.
I love that. That's such a great activity. I was thinking of journaling and really going deep and engaging the five senses because it helps us stop and think about music differently than we have. And I'd also like to bring up the difference, and if there's a difference, between music therapy and music care, because I do hear those terms sometimes used interchangeably. So I'd love for you to share if there is a difference and what is the difference.
This is a question with a lot of insight, and I really thank you for giving me the opportunity here to praise my music therapy colleagues, professional advanced degrees, trained in the therapeutic one-on-one relationship, and the modality, of course, in music therapy is music. So you're using music in a one-on-one therapeutic relationship to achieve some goal or some result. That's an amazing field of study, and thanks to the music therapy associations, we have all of this research that's coming up worldwide about how music works. What I call music care is being able to do that for yourself, no therapist required. I go to my piano lesson once a week back in the day, and the rest of the time I better be practicing. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste to sit with the expert. So music care is your ability to use this thing that's all around us, sound and rhythm, to give yourself care when you're not with a therapist in a one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really bizarre to me, Rebecca, how come more people are not being taught that this is a potential that we humans have, because in many parts of the world, music is present throughout the day, throughout the daily activities. It's just part of the ethos of how you go through your day. And around our house, it's on all the time, too, except for when I'm on a podcast, and I tend to turn it down. But wouldn't you like to know that you could, leave your therapist, and then for the other time that you're not in the chair, you've got an opportunity to use this modality in a way that's transformative. And you can do that just by focusing your intention in that area and using a couple of skills that are easy to learn and mind yourself in your own care.
Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you for helping us understand that difference a little bit. And that's a great example that we want to be practicing these things, not just when we're in front of the expert, but really building those muscles and skills and practices in our daily life. And that can help us move forward in all the areas that we're looking to move forward. So it's beautiful. And I'm just looking through my notes here. I want to make sure that we covered everything that we had on our heart to do so around this. And I wanted to expand a little bit more on how we can use music even more effectively. I feel like you've touched on a few things about bringing the senses in, but I wanted to give you an opportunity if there are any other tips or ways we can start to purposely, mindfully use music even more effectively in our lives to support us.
I think the biggest way is to bring it up into the foreground. It's great to have music in the background, and it's doing amazing work. But if you bring music to the foreground, you achieve things that are, in many cases, very difficult for most people to do. You can be fully present if you engage all your five senses in the experience of listening to a song, whether you're actually listening to it and hearing the sound waves or remembering it in your mind. And that's an amazing ability that we have. It's like a built-in superpower. And coming to full presence, so much can flow from that. Meditators do this frequently. It happens often when I'm performing or playing. I get into a state where there's flow, as you might call it, or a connection of some kind. But beyond just our individuals, imagine being in full presence alongside somebody who is very meaningful to you, whether it's a coworker, colleague, or an intimate partner, and coming to full presence with them. That changes the way that you interact and communicate, and your connection is enriched.
Yes.
And whether that's like listening to music or playing drums together or performing in a band, if you do that kind of thing, what an amazing opportunity we have to build more durable connections between all of us human beings using this incredible tool that's just been there sitting in the background, keeping us entertained. But now we can bring it up into the foreground and use it with intention, and with the intention of accomplishing things that really can't be accomplished any other way.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I think that's such great insight and information for us, and really being intentional and bringing it to the foreground and experiencing it for ourselves and with others, being so powerful. And helping us connect more and more to each other and to ourselves is going to lead to transformation and helping us become more of who we're called to be and who we want to be, discovering who we are in all of it. So really, really powerful. Thank you so much for sharing, Bill. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Rebecca.
And listeners, we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And I want you to know we're going to give you an opportunity at the end of the show to be able to learn how to connect deeper and more fully with Bill. We want to make sure you have that information. We'll be sharing it at the end of the show. But for now, what I'd love for you to do is to take these next 2 minutes to stop, pause, breathe, perhaps tune into that tune that is playing in the background and bring it to the foreground. And let's see what's being laid on your heart and spirit. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just 2 minutes.
Think you've seen everything there is to see in online television? Let us surprise you. Visit voiceamerica.tv today for sports, health, business, and more on demand 24/7.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Sustainable success is just around the corner. If you are an entrepreneur, business leader, or anybody looking for their next level of success, tune into Sustainable Success with host Chris Salem. Did you know that the path to success is a long path that started many years ago? The path you started on then determines what is happening now. Chris and his amazing guests in their field will help you navigate the path to sustainable success every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern Time and 9 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Influencers Channel.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics.
Change starts here. Change starts now. Join us, the Voice America Influencers Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and tuned into the tune, music, sounds around you, just on a more purposeful level to see how that is connecting with you and how you can connect with music all around you. Beautiful. Well, welcome back. We've been talking about ways that we can move forward powerfully in 2020 and beyond while being supported fully in the journey. And part of our show today, I wanted to take a moment and thank one of our amazing sponsors. Now, here's the thing that's really special about sponsors. These are organizations that believe in you. They believe in the work that we're doing, the opportunities we have to come together to support one another in living an empowered life. And so I encourage you to listen up and listen in, I should say, and really get to know these organizations because they believe in you and are wanting to support you on their journey. And I think it's wonderful to know organizations like that that are already leaning into you. So this particular organization's name is 2x2 Health. So it's the number 2 by and then the number 2 Health. Private concierge. And this organization last year created a powerful book called The Confident Patient. It became a #1 international bestseller. Here's some things that people have said about it. It's an engaging and practical guide for anyone who will ever visit a doctor. You don't have to go to medical school in order to be a confident patient. Just read this book. That was said by Dr. Liz Lister. And so it's an opportunity for you to be supported as you're navigating the healthcare system, to know the questions to ask, to have a roadmap, to know what some of the terminology means so that when you are there on those journeys at whatever stage you're able to, whether you're going into surgery, coming out of surgery, or you're just getting some guidance and lifestyle changes that can support you in living vibrantly and powerfully. This book is an amazing tool that can support you. It's available on Kindle, Audible, and print on Amazon, and you can find it again under The Confident Patient. And this was put together by 2x2 Health, written by Wendy K. Benson and Elizabeth Myers. I encourage you to lean in, check out this amazing resource so that you can be confident any step you're taking in your healthcare journey. Thank you, 2x2 Health, for leaning in, supporting our show, and all of our amazing listeners. And speaking of support, it's really important that we remember that we are enough. And our next amazing expert has actually created a whole movement around this so that you are claiming that and you're fully supported on your journey. So Megan Fenyo is an Air Force veteran, a licensed clinical medical health therapist with 15 plus years experience, a speaker, a trainer, a podcast host, and founder of the international I Am Enough movement and nonprofit organization. She is a best-selling author, and she's absolutely passionate about you knowing, embracing, and claiming that you are enough. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful Megan Fenyo to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for having me today. It's such an honor.
You are very welcome. I'm thrilled to have you joining us today. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about why is this work of I Am Enough so important to you, and it's become so important. You've actually created a whole movement around it. I'd love for you to share why that's personally become so important to you.
I was in a very narcissistic, abusive marriage and did not realize the trauma that I was enduring, even though being a mental health therapist for the last 15 years. And when I left the marriage, I started doing my own trauma work and having to rebuild my life because I did not believe I was enough. And so my best-selling book is based on being enough. And then I created this movement, which is now a nonprofit, and giving visual coping skills back to people, which includes I Am Enough cards, so that people can start visualizing and repeating to themselves what it means for them to be enough. That's the very short version.
Beautiful. No, thank you for sharing and how important it is. And then I was just thinking with Bill and what he was sharing, we could get music to go along with that. The visual and the music.
Definitely.
And just complete a whole, all these tools to support. But how important that is that we are able to bring that into our life on a cellular level. And I appreciate you sharing a little bit of your journey, that even though you're in that field and industry, it was still hard to recognize that you weren't quite embracing and believing that. And that was part of your healing journey, and that you're willing to now not just stand for that and stand in that place, but now provide tools and reminders to help others claim that truth for themselves, that they are enough. And I just applaud you for your work.
Thank you. All of this happened in the last 2 years when I walked away from him in February of 2018. And, what I learned was the more vulnerable I am and authentic, then the right things and the right people come into my life. And so I went through this tragedy for a reason, and I want to use that tragedy and show people how they can move from any tragedies or any struggles they have into their strength. And it's been an amazing whirlwind of 2 years, and I'm just so truly blessed.
Well, I'm so glad that you have stepped forward and you've stepped out of that situation, have moved into a much more powerful place and a place to help and lift up others. And I'd love for you to share, if you don't mind, a little bit of how you went from, because that's a big transformation in 2 years, and how did you go from some of that struggle to discovering your strengths and really being able to claim them and step into them?
And I love this question because that's the first step in my book. So my book was written in the, 5 months, the most traumatic 5 months of my life. And I went through these 5 steps that were important for me to go through in order for me to believe that I am enough. And the first step is discovering your true self. So anytime we go through something that's traumatic, whether it be a breakup, a health issue, a job, anything like that, we are no longer that person that we were. And we have to rediscover who we are today. And that includes radical acceptance work. That includes, redefining your values and really doing the deep dive, the hard work, the scary work to be able to start figuring out who you are. There's a lot of different questions that I, ask in the book to get people thinking. And I actually, do these steps with clients to help them. And once they're able to start really discovering who they are, they're able to visualize a new life and visualize their passion and purpose, which is exactly what happened to me 2 years ago.
Perfect. And and I think that's so important, because if we don't know who we are now, I like that you brought that up, because we will evolve and shift, especially going through traumatic experiences. So I think sometimes we try to build a vision or a purpose on who we used to be, not who we are now. And it's so important to know who and then we can follow that and find out that's not in alignment or not who we are. This is not even me. So how valuable to know and remember. It's so important to know who you are now, meet that person, get to know that person, and then you can build from there and become empowered and build amazing vision and be on purpose. So thank you. I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
Speaking of this being our first step, what are some ways that we can start figuring out who we are? Where can we start with that?
Definitely. I mean, it's difficult because most times people, need to use a mentor or a therapist or a coach. I have had a lot of people that have used the actual book, but it's really asking important questions. And the first step is actually going through the acceptance piece. And I didn't talk about that much in my first book, but I'm writing a second book and really going into acceptance and what does that mean, and how do we close that door of the person that we no longer are and create this new person. So the first and foremost, the first step is doing that acceptance work, because for me to find that closure with my ex-husband, I had to come to the acceptance that I'm no longer that person. That was my closure. The closure wasn't going to come from him. The closure was saying, I'm no longer that person, and that's okay.
Yes.
And this is my time to develop who I am. And so that acceptance piece is difficult work, but that's definitely one step in order to, start discovering who you truly are.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And the reminder that, this is not a solo journey. We are not meant to do it alone. And for work like this that can be so challenging, it's really important to get support on the journey and to have people walk beside you and hold that space for you, so that you can discover those things and be supported in that. So I'm glad that you shared that as well. And boy, that acceptance can make all the difference and is so needed. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
And then I also wanted to spend some time today talking about the I am enough movement. I know that is such a powerful phrase. Most people, when they say it, there's a reaction that happens within them. And it can be a leaning in or a shrinking back or an expanding. I feel like it's a statement when we say that and we claim it, it's not neutral. And I'd love for you to talk a little bit about how powerful this statement is and share about the movement. And let's start with that. And then I have more questions, but I want to make sure I give you room to share about that.
Yeah, definitely. So last year in February, I, got a little antsy. The book had come out, and I was like, okay, what else can I do to give back? And one of the things that I was doing during my trauma work is I'm a huge affirmation fan. And so I had like sticky notes of different affirmations and things like that all over my house. So I was like, okay, what can I do to give back? And one night I came home and I was all excited and came up with this idea to create a visual coping card. And on the front it says, I am enough. And on the back it has the word because with 3 lines. And this is so important because a lot of people will see quotes or say, yeah, I am enough, or I am worthy, or I am a rock star, but they miss the word because. And it's so important to have the word because after that, because of the fact that you have to know why you're enough. And so for me, if I was just going to say I'm enough, sorry, that's not a very strong statement for me. And when I started my work, the only thing that I could say was I am enough because I got out of bed this morning. Because you have to start at ground zero, and that's where I was. And as the more I did my work and developing different coping skills and repeating different affirmations that I truly believed about myself, then that statement of I am enough because grew into something different. And so I had no idea what was going to happen with the movement. I just knew I wanted to give back. And so I launched the movement last February. And in the last 11 months, I have given out over 5,000 cards. People can go to my website and order 5 coping cards for free. And I've sent cards to 44 states and 16 countries in 11 months, which means people have organically heard about the movement, gone to the website, and ordered the cards. And it's just amazing. And I had one lady order 500 cards, and she brought them to Uganda. And I got all of these videos of these precious children in Uganda holding up the card and telling me why they believe that they're enough. And I have people that give them out to homeless people. I walk around San Diego and just give cards to people because it's truly empowering every single person. We have all struggled with not feeling like enough. Every single one of us. It doesn't matter your age, your gender. We've all struggled with it. And that's my passion and my purpose. And then I just got the 501c3 status in December. So the movement is now a nonprofit, which I'm super excited about.
Well, congratulations on such a huge impact. And I felt emotion in my heart and in my eyes as you were sharing about Uganda, and I could just feel and see those children raising up those cards. I mean, that's just so powerful to be able to claim and get to be a part of. And I can't wait to see all the hearts that are reached and all the different places your movement is going to go and has gone, because I know as we're speaking it is growing and impacting.
It is.
So I'm just absolutely, I just thrilled for that. Excited for you. Congratulations on, I know you're taking those steps to bring it to that nonprofit status. So congratulations on that huge undertaking. And
yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. It is. So congratulations. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break, but listeners, make sure to stay tuned because we're going to let you know how you can get your cards too if you want and be able to connect in with the movement and with Megan more deeply. So make sure to stay tuned as you enjoy this commercial break. Remember, it's 2 minutes in disguise just for you. Take a moment to answer the question or to say, I am enough because, and write the answer to because. We'll look forward to talking to you in just 2 minutes.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN. Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
There's a new force to be reckoned with in talk radio. It's Not Just Talk Radio, hosted by LaTanya Jr. and co-hosts Tina Wynn and Tony Brown. Not Just Talk Radio is like a superhero, inspiring, problem-solving, and informing, packed with action-provoking conversations from news, movements, and social and politics issues. This program is about a wide range of voices and fresh points of view from experts, celebrities, and you, the listener. Not Just Talk Radio is broadcast live Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Influencers Channel.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
We don't follow, we lead. Join us, the Voice America Influencers Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that you gave yourself an opportunity to answer that question. Because how are you going to fill in those blanks? You are enough because. And I love how Megan started with, the first time it was because she got out of bed in the morning. We start where we're at. You are enough because. So as we go through this last part of the show, I'm going to encourage you to take action on a few of the things that we talked about today. So one, I want to encourage you to resist the urge when we hang up here or we disconnect, that we're still connected energetically. Remember that you're never alone. We're here supporting and cheering you on and wanting to really encourage you in being on purpose and living in a way that is supportive of you and what you are called to bring forward. So take a couple minutes at the end of the show today to just process, breathe, and then as you get ready to step back into the day, that you're doing so purposely and mindfully. So the day is not running you. You are choosing what you do and how you do it as you step forward. I want you to pay special attention to music and work on bringing that into the forefront, and pay attention with all of your senses to how that is interacting with you and supporting you. How is it making you feel? How is it touching all of your different senses? And how can that be something you purposely bring into life, mindfully and purposely, to support you? How can we discover more of who we are and bring that forward in our life, that it is not a solo journey? So really think about these things, start to take steps today, not someday, but today on these things to support you on your journey. And part of that is being able to tap into resources and experts, because this is not a solo journey. I think it's really important that we're able to connect in a deeper level with those people that we connect with. So as our experts have leaned into you and supported you today, I want you to know how you can connect with them further, how you can go deeper, how you can tap into some of what they are doing and bringing to the world. And with that, Bill, I'd love for you to share how they can stay connected with you, go deeper, so they can continue that connection.
Thank you, Rebecca. I'm a real believer in authentic human connection, and I do offer other ways of being able to sort of collect digital collateral, but there's a way to reach me directly, and for your listeners, I'm going to open that up for the next couple of days. You can book a free conference call with me on Zoom where we can sit and talk to one another and just listen to each other as human beings. I think that's so important these days. It's so vital. You can find all of this at quest.musiccare.net. I do think that life is a quest, and to reach out to it that way is so much different than letting it happen to you. So if you're motivated to do that, if the quest for life is on your heart right now, quest.musiccare.net, you can find me there and set up a call and let's talk.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for making yourself available in that way. I really appreciate that, and that's a very generous offer. So listeners, I encourage you to lean in and embrace that opportunity for support and connection. And also, Bill, I didn't know if you had a piece of advice or tip or reminder you want to share with our listeners that they can carry with them as they get to go back out into the world.
Of course. Well, this world is changing so quickly, and change is a scary thing. And you can practice how you respond to change by exploring new music that maybe you didn't listen to in the past. And that all boils down to a very quick little statement. Think about it this way. Change your music, change your life.
That's very tweetable. I love that. Change your music, change your life.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining us today and sharing. And then, Megan, I would love for you to share how people can go deeper, perhaps follow the I Am Enough movement. What are ways they can get involved and connect and go deeper?
Definitely. There are a couple different ways. I do offer a free consultation, but I kind of like what was said earlier about, just making the connection and just really being there for anyone who is struggling with trying to discover who they are, whether they're leaving an abusive relationship or maybe just struggling with that whole concept of being enough. So people can go to my website. It's just meganfenyo.com. And they can book the consultation with me there. They can also go to IamEnoughMovement.info. And you can go there and order the cards. You can also book a call with me and just learn more about the movement and how to get involved and the nonprofit. And everything else on social media is just Megan Fenyo or I Am Enough Movement.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing and joining us today and making yourself and your movement available. Did you have any quick piece of advice or reminder as we get ready to go back out into the world?
Yes. I always end my interviews and on my TV show with this quote, and it's, "You are enough just as you are, regardless of whatever season you're in, and the more you celebrate and focus on that, the more you will live in your strength."
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And listeners, thank you for joining us today, for tuning in, giving us the opportunity to spend this time with you. And as you get ready to go back out into the world, I want you to remember you are enough, that you are absolutely needed, just as you are, that you're beautifully and wonderfully made, and I believe for such a time as this. So I want to encourage you to be willing to share the gift of you. That's one of the greatest gifts you can give the world, is letting them experience and be blessed by you. So be willing to share more of you. So wherever you go, whatever you do, may you always choose to bloom and shine. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Griter, next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Influencers channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.
Find out what's happening on the Voice America Talk Radio Network.